I don't normally drop videos this quick, but someone has brought something to my attention that I felt needed to be pointed out as soon as it could possibly be done. Now, what you're looking at is a Strava heat map. I used this a couple of videos ago to show you that in a very small area north of Caracas, there is an incredible amount of activity going on. Strava is a company that tracks Fitbit type devices and tracks the activity of people using them. These devices, of course, are used for folks who work out, who want to keep track of, their progress. And for something to light up in red, you have to have a lot of use of these types of devices. Now, it doesn't just show American military bases. That's what a lot of people have made the mistake of assuming. That is one thing it can show, because a lot of military soldiers, our military soldiers, use those, but the world's military soldiers use those. So it could show anybody's military, but what it will definitely show is if there's a lot of that type of activity. Now, this region just north of, and I'm going to try to zoom out here, of Caracas is a very tiny, sleepy little fishing community, and folks vacation here, honeymoon here. Nobody's working out here. And this, to show you how small this is Caracas. This is the northern coast of Venezuela. And you can barely see this little strip. But so for there to be this much red in these areas shows something very unusual, especially up here in the northern part, where we see what are basically just keys and small islands where there's almost no habitation. There would be no place to work out. There would be no place to do this unless, of course, you were aboard a ship. And we just reported on the fact that there was this massive military exercise down there with the Chinese and the Cubans and the Russians. Now, I'm not reiterating this just to say that I did. I like to give credit where credit is due. This person named, I want to pronounce this correctly, the name is spelled Dandre, Dandre Moore, 17 hours ago asked me to look at marine traffic, and that there was this group of 9 military ships off the coast of Grenada. Well, they're unspecified, but that 9 has grown to 19. And they are all in one very tiny, very suspicious area. And I want to show you this. Thank you, Mr. Moore. This is exactly how you do intelligence. You start thinking ahead. You start thinking outside of the box. And this reminds me of our time back doing the Fitzgerald. What you're looking at here is marine traffic, of course. All of these little dots represent different types of craft. And what we're going to do is one by one, we're going to go through the legend of it and take out craft of certain type that are identifying themselves and see what's left. Now we're going to go ahead. Cargo vessels are marked in green. We're going to take those out. And they disappear. Tankers are marked in red. We're going to get rid of those. Passenger vessels marked in blue. We're going to get rid of those. High-speed craft in yellow. Those are gone. Tugs and special craft. We're going to get rid of those. Fishing boats. Now those are gone. Pleasure craft. These are all of your Class B transponders. Gone. Now we're going to get rid of navigation aids. And let me show you what this leaves off the northern coast of Venezuela, very near St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There is a group, and I'm going to zoom in here, it's getting larger by the minute, of 20 ships in this very tiny area. Let's see if I can recount here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and then we have 18 and 19 here, and I believe there is another one on the way. Yep, over here. Here's number 20, heading right for this group. This very well could be the makings of an invasion fleet or a fleet designed to repel one. This is how military ships show up. They show up as just gray and unidentified. and that all of these are just in this area by themselves is incredibly suspicious. If we had just random craft dotting all over the map that were unspecified, that wouldn't be suspicious at all. You know, they would be everywhere. But as you can see, when we zoom out, the only other places is we have a ship over here, and I don't even know why they're calling this a ship because it's a dot. But this is Providencia. So it's very rare that you get a ship that's out there that's not pinging or broadcasting what it is. There's a couple over in the canal, and they are military icebreakers, but that's it. So for some strange reason, we have 19 ships here and one more on the way. I don't know how you look at this based on all of the rhetoric out of Puerto Rico, all of the activity in Venezuela and Colombia is anything other than a military fleet. And that it's this close to Caracas right here. This is, let's see if I can zoom out here so my cursor can be. The island that I spoke of earlier, Grand Rock, it's right here. And if they were going to pull this off, this is where they would do it. It's kind of odd. Their Grenada's back in the news again. Unbelievable. I know I have a lot of folks out there that are my age and older that remember Grenada. It just seems like, I think that was 84. I might have my year wrong. It's been a long time ago, but for some reason Grenada, I believe, was 1984. 84 or 82. It's just been a long time. I'd have to look it up. But it was Reagan. It was in the Reagan era, and it's a long, drawn-out story about why we went down and what we did down there, but it's very odd to see this again building up. You just don't have 19 ships decide to all anchor in one spot. And like we said, we went through it. These aren't fishing vessels, because fishing vessels broadcast as such. And if it were just random ships that decided not to turn their transponders on, why are they all in one area? This is definitely a military fleet. A very quiet buildup. Whose? That's hard to say. That's very, very hard to say. I would not be surprised either way as to whose this might be. But Grenada was British, so it kind of leads toward perhaps them. Maybe this is something that we're going to do in conjunction with Canada or Great Britain. Because we don't see anything over here. Looks like there's one ship over here, a couple over here in Lake Maracaibo. And over in the canal, of course, you're going to have a few. But to give you an idea, there's 19 over there. This is the canal, and this is like shipping central. In this whole area, in the whole canal region, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, about the same. For the entire region of the Panama Canal, there are what looks like 1 or 2 fewer unspecified ships, quote unquote, than are over here setting off the coast of Venezuela. And the fact that we have a couple that are coming from Grenada makes me think this might be coalition. And given everything that I'm sure a lot of your questions might be, well, if this is some secret fleet, why are they broadcasting at all? With everything that's happened in the last couple of years with the Fitzgerald and the McCain, for them to be out there and not broadcasting some type of a position, they would be making themselves a navigation hazard. And I'm sure they have some type of security perimeter around here as well. But who knows? Especially given what was said by the mayor of Puerto Rico. And one of these up here almost looks like it is actually. It's two ships right on top of each other. This is something you would do to hide numbers. That or they're docked with each other for some reason. I can't imagine why. And even Mr. Maduro himself said that he had intelligence that something was going to happen in October. Some of these ships are just way too close to each other. And this fleet, and like I said, this fleet has been out here minimum 17 hours. Dondre Moore pointed this out. And amazing piece of intelligence work. Very, very well done. I spent so much time looking at this during the Fitzgerald investigations that I swore I would never, if I didn't have to, look at this again. But we will keep you updated as things progress if we get any new information. But it looks like things are going to kick off here. It's going to have nothing to do with the Middle East. These heat signatures out here were no accident whatsoever. And just to give you an idea where we were from there, we're going to zoom out here real quick. The Strava heat map takes, for some reason, a long time to load every time you zoom out. All right, well, here's Grand Rock. And then here's Grenada. So I guess right out here is where those ships are. Thank you again to Dondre Moore. Sure appreciate it. Like I said, we'll keep our eyes on it, keep you updated. Like, share, subscribe.